this headline right here. McAfee, as in Pat McAfee, his producer, Boston Connor, takes shot at Cam Newton in First Take for weird Drake May argument. So we all know last week, Drake May caught himself in the middle of this. Stephen A. Smith saying to every football player, or at least Drake May, you liar, you know where Cam Newton works. He works on the #1 morning show in sports, First Take. Drake May like, man, Cam Newton, my favorite player ever, but what the hell you talking about? I don't know where you work. Right? It's simple as that. So then Cam Newton, because he's on the show, and you know, as much as I love Cam Newton, he got to pledge allegiance to Stephen A. Smith, doubles down and just really kind of like puts Drake May in a weird position where, Cam, you played before. Were you just sit there glued to watch an ESPN in the locker room? Nobody is. I mean, it's on. NFL Network is on, and you just walk by and look at it. The sound is down. Every now and then you see your name or you see somebody else, you turn it up. So then that's how it went. But this is a lot deeper than that. And I've done videos on this before where basically y'all know behind the scenes it's been some issues. One of them that's public knowledge you guys know about is the fact that like a Kendrick Perkins went on McAfee's show as an NBA contributor once. That's what they said, once. And then no more. Why? You think that's just, I don't know, happenstance? You think that just happens? No, it's a direct initiative. It's a direct order to go on, and it's also a direct order not to go on again. Why? It's a little bit of that tug of war, that, you know, the power stroke of, and Stephen A. Smith kept going out and saying, I want to be the highest paid here. Y'all paying other people, y'all paying them, pay me. Remember that? Remember those days? And he ended up getting the money. But the point is, if you Pat McAfee and his crew, you're sitting there like, we can't, and Pat McAfee even spoke on this. We can't even get the guys that work here to work with us, some of them. And you know who that was. Talking about the guys, where all the brothers at that's on First Take, all of them. They ain't on McAfee like that, right? So behind the scenes, they probably, you know how it is when you're at school, you ain't about to fight the person, but you and that person, let's just say y'all ain't peanut butter and jelly. Y'all don't blend too well together. So y'all just kind of send these little peaceful shots, but they still shots. This is exactly what happened on Sports Nation when Drake and Kendrick first started to go at each other. And I told you guys back then, I think it was 2013, I was like, think about it, 2013, when Drake came on the show, we filmed it, we taped it, we didn't go live. If we went live, y'all would have known in 2013, Drake don't like Kendrick. Ooh, right? But then it was just all this little stuff, the control verse, these little, you got to read through the lyrics. And you're like, what'd he say? Did he say that? Ooh. And like for 10, 11 years, McAfee, Stephen A., Drake, Kendrick, little shots. You catch that? You catch that? So let's read through this a little bit. I don't put too much stake in those shows just because we all kind of know how they work behind the scenes. I could read this whole article, but damn it, I already did, and y'all don't need to. I like video more for this show. I don't put too much stake in those shows just because we all kind of know how they work behind the scenes. Let's talk about that and get out of this. How they work behind the scenes, he's basically saying, look, what Marcellus just said about how they not giving us guests, they not really working with us, we ain't on the same page, we ain't really friends like that, shows are not friends, part of it. Here's the other part. Those shows are contrived. They fake the funk. McAfee and those guys are authentic. McAfee and those guys, hey, these are my boys, or these are guys I like to work with. That's how we built this. That's why I love doing On the Rocks with my guys, because those are really my boys. I ain't say, who I work well with. And that happens too, but I work the best in the industry, most people would say, with Max Kellerman. Who is Max Kellerman? Just the guy that went to Columbia with me, even though we didn't hang. I heard of him. He certainly said he heard of me. Point being, I knew him, and then I started doing interviews with him when I was still in the league. And then when I retired, still talking to him, still Columbia. Once I know you went to Columbia, you a lion, let's roar. And then we end up doing a show together. And people say one of the best, if not the best show they've ever watched or listened to. They loved it. But that's because we had real chemistry. We ain't fake the funk. They ain't put us in a room together and do a test study. And I wonder if you'll like each other. So McAfee's the only show up there. And it's so crazy, I just got off the phone with somebody that works at ESPN right now last night who just out of the blue just said the same thing. That's crazy. It just put two and two together. if you're not pledging allegiance to Stephen A. Smith up there, you're Pat McAfee. He's the only one that doesn't have to do it. Everyone else, you got to follow the flow. It's the lazy river. You just got to give him respect. And guess what? Salute to Stephen A. Smith for being in that position. But no salute what Michelle Beater was going to, which is if you're not in that position, there's also some issue with you. Disdain. I'm not going to let you have my resources, assets. Hey, Perk, you went where? Over there? Like Stephen A. Smith told on himself, LeBron, the worst thing you did. The worst thing you did. How is this the worst thing? You went on McAfee. That got me. That got me. Remember when Stephen A. Smith said that? I was like, damn. Envy, jealousy, I don't know what you call that, but that's just weird. Like, but I guess, it ain't no network camaraderie. I get all that, but damn, you just don't like this dude because he was making more money than you for a second. Now you beat him, leapfrogging. And McAfee and them sitting there like, we ain't tripping. We don't care. And now they get to the point where like, we don't care, but we ain't no punks either. So now you're starting to see producers. We know what they doing over there. Faking their conversations, faking their arguments. That was contrived to just get a response. And then, worse, we ain't even working together. Think about that. McAfee and Stephen A. Smith, you're your biggest on the network. Stephen A. Smith does every show. Finally, he's not doing Countdown, and that was already negotiating. But he does every show. He was doing the car wash, as they call it. Stephen A. Smith ain't on McAfee. McAfee ain't on First Take. If you don't think there's beef, you stupid. And I think it's one-sided, which is gangster, but I'm reading the tea leaves. Let's see if McAfee don't like Stephen A. It may be just in response, like, oh, that's how you want to play it? Well, then now forget that fool, right? Real talk. You know what we do on this show, boy. We flow, boy. But before we flow, boy, we check in on your blood flow, boy. Are you guys using VINIA? Oh, my God, what are you guys doing? Let's keep it real, family. Energy isn't about sugar or caffeine. Nah, none of that fake stuff. It's about blood flowing. When your circulation's strong, the oxygen, the nutrients, they hit your muscles, your brain and heart, and goes where it needs to go. What does that mean? More focus, more alert, and you are ready with more energy. So come on, go to Vineia.com/Marcellus. Use the discount code Marcellus10 for a 10% discount. Who's Marcellus? Me. You know your boy. 10-year NFL All-Pro baller. Had to go after it without VINIA, without this real product. Had to use that fake stuff, sugar and caffeine. Good thing is, it got me up there. Bad thing is, pow. Boy, would you crash sometimes in the middle of the game. So now, in the game of life, I have VINIA. You can too. So make sure you use VINIA in your daily routine. I don't care if you're a dad. I don't care if you're a coach or chauffeur like me. All the above. You need this to be more focused, more alert, and it helps you be on the go. So go to Vineia.com/Marcellus, Marcellus10 for the discount code, and you will get 10% off. That's Vineia.com/Marcellus. So, you know what we do on this show. We flow, boy. I'm ignorant right now. Hey, I pledge allegiance to Stephen A. Smith. I pledge allegiance to Pat McAfee. Ooh, ESPN got an allegiance oath. Uh-oh, let's talk about it. All right, let's start here. Well, Pat McAfee is talking spicy, producer throwing shade. First Take fake beef, all that drama is made. Stephen A. run the castle like a king with a sword. Everybody swears allegiance just to get on his board. Ooh, Pat ain't tripping, he just clapping right back. Drake May caught a stray in the ESPN smack. Pat said the quiet part loud, made the whole net freeze. Y'all know how these shows run, pre-packed canned beef. Producer kinda like, bro, that Drake May convo weird. They acting like they shocked, like they just appeared. Stephen A. got the wheel, he driving with force. You don't go off script unless you're ready for divorce. Ooh. They treat segments like wrestling, chairs, belts, heat. Only thing missing is a cage mat set on repeat. So Pat call it like he see it, unfiltered, uncut. Meanwhile, First Take backstage looking like, shh, shut up. McAfee ain't started, he just hit the reply. And the internet caught fire like 4th of July. Nobody from ESPN crosses over to Pat's show. Stephen A. territory, off limits, bro. If People want to visit, but they scared to offend. Like showing up on Mcafee means you losing a friend. Stephen A. don't pull up on Pat's set either. He treat Mcafee like a rival, not a colleague, not a leader. High school politics, millionaire checks. Who can sit at whose table? Who gonna get some specs? Mcafee chilling in tank tops, laughing and loud. Stephen A. in a three-piece, looking down from the clouds. Two different kingdoms, but the turf war's petty. Pat just holding his lane, Stephen keeping machete. See, everybody at ESPN gotta choose a side. It's like they sign an oath when they walk inside. Pledge allegiance to Stephen A. and the world he builds. Speak out of turn and your airtime gets killed. It's wild, the whole network bending true tradition. Mcafee the only one breaking that submission. He ain't looking for beef, he ain't stirring the pot, but replied too honest and suddenly, pow, he took a shot. Meanwhile, Drake May sitting home like, what'd I do? Caught a Civil War stray with two crews. One shoe screw, soap opera scene. The other freestyle chaos on the caffeine stream. And Pat, the one that blamed, it ain't the truth. Stephen A. throwing stones while he hide in the booth. Ooh. Mcafee talk real, Stephen A. talk loud, but the audience can see through the smoke and the proud. If these kings ever squashed it, imagine the views. But till then, it's ESPN. Just the way it goes, my friend. Ooh. It's been a decade plus that I knew that this day was going to come.
Oh, this is not hyperbole here. Because I think the verse.
Time to hydrate. Hydration's the situation, so.